About 20, 21 years old now for Wisdom and Change now, right?
Uh, well, we started. The first album that Wisdom and Change recorded was 2001.
Okay.
It was so 20. What is
22.
that? 22 years. So, yeah, the first album we recorded was 2001, and then when we did Die Young, that was like real Wisdom and Chains. That was like the first real thing.
So yeah, you were finding your niche of how your sound and everything. So
yeah, at first it was just like a side project, and then when we decided to make it the main thing, that was Die Young. You know?
Yes, and that's still one of my favorite albums ever made, not just in hardcore, but just period. But it's right there. I'll tell you that. But let's go back to that. So at the beginning, it's the side project, and I mean, you and Richie been around long enough. You've all been in other bands. So what's that like trying to even find the sound of what you're going to sound like? I mean, you still feel you want to be heavy, or you feeling like we've done that, let's try something different? What's going through your mind?
Well, we had at the time we could have went in a bunch of different directions because we had Crutch. We could have continued Crutch if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
We had Box Cutter. We could have continued that if we wanted to. We had this other like kind of a passion project for our drummer Sean Battle. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make this band called Divided, and we weren't really too into Divided, but it was like if we wanted to, we could have pursued that band also. We also, me and Richie spent a lot of time with Mushmouth on various albums. So like we could have went into that, and it was just sort of like this. It was. I don't know if we realized it at the time, but it was sort of a transition type of a period in our lives where we were sort of becoming adults, sort of unavoidable, where we had to kind of we all lived together in this awesome house, and we had a studio in the basement, and we were very I wouldn't say we were irresponsible, but we were definitely living the life of like teenagers, you know what I mean? But we were in the bodies of grown ass men now, you know what I mean? And as like our responsibility started to, so like as our responsibility started to pile up and stack up around us, we had to sort of focus on one thing instead of just like being all over the place, doing too much stuff. So we just decided Wisdom and Chains had a sound that was unique enough. It was worth putting some effort into it. The other things were all fun, awesome projects, but this was something that would possibly make us stand out a little bit more. It was definitely a harder road because it was nobody knew what to do with Wisdom and Chains at 1st. Nobody knew what to do. They would be like, it sounds great, but for a live application, like where do we mosh?
Yeah.
What do we do? And nobody knew. Like we're playing with at that time, that was like 2004 ish, and everybody was sounding so heavy. Like
God, that was when Chugga Chugga went full prime on metal and hardcore. It was
it was like Hatebreed. Everybody wanted to sound very much like Hatebreed at the time. So every band that we were playing with, that was like a newer band. If you, I hate using this word, but our competition, you know what I mean? Like the bands that we're trying to like stand out from, they all sounded very similar to each other, but it was really great music to mosh to. Very accessible in that way. And so we're playing, and people might dig the way it sounds, but there's nothing to do. Like this is boring live. Like nobody's doing anything. And then finally they started to sing along, passionately sing along, and then it sort of fell into place, and people just kind of figured out what to do to us live. I remember the first time we had like a good sing-along reaction was actually in Nanacoke. I can't remember the name of it. It was a pizza place, like a basement of a pizza place in Nanacoke. And this show went really well. And this one song that I thought it was like my favorite of our songs that we were playing at the time. And nobody ever did anything to it. I just enjoyed singing it. And I started singing it, and it looked like everybody was saying. It probably wasn't everybody, but at the time, it looked like everybody was singing this. I was like, "Holy shit! How do they know these words?" And it's like, well, we played a lot of shows, we sold a lot of CDs, and people are starting to click with people. You know what I mean? They're starting to connect with the lyrics, and then it just sort of grew from there, where people understood there is a way to enjoy this music live without just standing here against the wall. You know.
Yeah, I mean, when did you know it was starting to really click? Was it just the Die Young album just kind of got
Yeah,
you?
Die Young did really good. There was like a void where Blood for Blood left a void when they stopped playing shows.
They definitely did.
And we sort of filled that void for a lot of people. And I don't think we sound like Blood for Blood, but
No,
we would always be compared to Blood for Blood, probably just because of the melodic parts and melodic vocals and things. And
well, the vocals is what sells me on hardcore. Always, it wasn't. You got to talk to me. I'm one of them.
yeah,
Even now, the music I listen to, like I'm like a Lou Reed, Leonard Cohen, Nick Cave. I like going deep. Patti Smith, Joni Mitchell. Talk to me. So when everyone just goes up like, I'm mad, I'm angry, you're like, dude, I got you. But
that only goes. Yeah, that only gets you so far. You gotta show some other range.
Yeah.
So,
like going through life, I always said, like, you can't fight everybody, but you don't want to get bulldozed over. So you have to have a balance. And
yeah.
I think that's what wisdom was, because you got, or is, but you got that, but you also go in different directions. And I really related to the Die Young album. And
that album is the one that filled that Blood for Blood void for a lot of people. So,
yep.
I don't know, like if they wanted it to always be that vibe of more of an angry vibe, it did change over the years, and it got more upbeat, I would say, and introspective, and less just pure angry.
Mm-hmm.
But in the very beginning, when we got a little bit of a buzz, that's what did it, I think. Yeah.